Remember those times when you're little and you'd be playing around with those tiny Lego sets and you'd imagine it to be really cinematic and cool, but it really didn't look like that? Well, that's because they're literally pieces of plastic. But here's how you can turn your childhood dreams into reality using Blender. Instead of making each individual block and the texture and the details for that, I found this awesome website called Mechabricks where it basically lets you create any Lego set or scene you want at the comfort of your own computer. Now the cool thing is that it gives you preloaded textures and details, so you don't have to worry about all that hassle after creating your physical shape. Now there's two add-ons, one paid and one free. Basically the free one gives you the basic textures and details and all that, but if you really want to add to that realism, you can get the paid version, which gives you a few things, which is basically fingerprints, smudges, and scratches. Here's how to install the Mechabricks add-on. So once you've clicked on the link in the description below, you'll be prompted to this page. Over here, make sure to log in or sign up if you're a new user. Once you've done that, you can go over here and head into shop, and you'll be prompted with 5 tabs, which 2 of them you have to look at, which is Blender Lite and Blender Advanced. Now, Blender Lite is the free version and Blender Advanced is the paid version, which gives you extra features. I'm going to go with Blender Lite for now. If you click on that, you'll see that there's a Add to Cart button. All you need to do is click on Add to Cart. Once you've done that, you can go over here into your profile, and it will prompt you to this page, and then you can head into purchases and download. And then you can select your file location. Now once you've done that, you can see that Mechabricks has installed a .zip file. You don't need to unzip it because Blender takes its add-ons as zip files. So then you can head into Blender and click on Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, and click on Install. And then you can select your add-on that you've just downloaded. Once you've done that, you can see that Blender prompts you with this new tab. And make sure to enable it or else you won't get the add-on. Now all this add-on does is it basically makes it so that you can import your Mechabricks files into Blender and make sure that it's compatible. Okay, you don't have to install the add-ons if you don't want to, especially if you're going to do everything in Mechabricks itself. But I usually don't prefer that because Mechabricks doesn't give the advanced lighting like Blender would. Okay, now we've set everything up. Now comes the fun part, the actual making of the Lego. To do that, we're going to be making the Lego sets inside of Mechabricks itself. Okay, so we're here in Mechabricks right now, and the good thing is that the learning part only takes a little while, and then after that you can explore your creativity by making anything you want. To actually start building, you're going to head into Workshop over here, and it'll open up a viewport which somewhat looks similar to the Blender's one. Now over here at the bottom, you've got all the blocks that you can add into your scene, and with this tab you can choose different types of groups of the blocks. And then in the right hand corner at the bottom, you've got the materials tab, which not only lets you choose the color but also the type of material the block's going to be, such as transparent, glittery, opal, milky, and basically other stuff. Then over here on the top, like Blender, it just a list which shows you all the objects that you've added to your scene. And then at the top here is just the transformation settings. Now to actually add the block, it's as simple as a single click, just like this. Now to move around the viewport, remember this, middle click and dragging around actually zooms in, or you can actually scroll on the wheel, which zooms in as well. Left click is to actually rotate around the block or the center point, and then right click and dragging around, which basically moves and pans around your scene. And then with that selected, to actually move the block, all you have to do is use the arrows on the block. You can move it sideways any way you want. You can actually move it upwards and like that. Now if you want to rotate the block, you can click M and it'll open up a gimbal. And with that, you can use the arrows to rotate it in whichever way you want. And to actually move back to the arrows again, to move that around, you click M. Now let's say you want to change the color of the object. Right now it's actually this beige color. To change it, you can head into the Materials tab and basically choose any color you want. And the good thing is, as you're dragging your mouse around, it will actually show you a preview of how the color will look like. So I'm actually going to go with this orange color for now. Now let's say you want to change the texture as well. Now you actually can't see orange right now, and it's just red, but that's just showing you that you've clicked on the object and it's active. To actually show that it's orange, you click out. But let's say you want to make this transparent. Then you can actually click on the object, click on this, and click on transparent, or basically anything else there. Just like that. And when you click out, as you can see, it's gotten a transparent set texture. Now I know you can't really see that it's transparent, but once you've actually imported it into Blender, you will be able to see it. And to add other blocks, it's basically as simple as opening up this tab, maybe choosing another section and clicking on it. Now the annoying thing is that the blocks actually spawn on the location of where you've added the previous block and not the center of the scene, but it's not that big of a hassle. Now another cool thing about Mechabricks is that if you actually go into the home page, there's a library, and the library contains many assets that you can play around with. And as you can see in the 3D view tab, you've got this, and you can actually move around, just scroll in and just look at the scene. And then over here in renderings, it basically shows you a bunch of renders that the creator has made with this certain design. And then if you click on editor, it'll open up the viewport and you can actually mess around with the object. Just like that, and you can actually play around with the objects. You're probably wondering, I know it's Lego, but it doesn't really look realistic like you promised. Well, to do that, you actually need to import it into Blender and do all the lighting and rendering. And that's what I'll be showing you how to do right now. Okay, I've actually opened up my own scene here in Mechabricks. It's actually my first ever scene I created. Now, it's not too complicated. It's just basic blocks for the walls and other blocks for the chimney and the fireplace. Now, the woman sitting on the chair is actually an asset I downloaded off the library in Mechabricks. For the fire, I actually made the texture a transparent texture just so that when we do the lighting in Blender, it will look pretty cool. Now, to actually export and import into Blender, it's pretty simple. Click on File, Export, Format, Blender Add-on, Export. Then you just have to save on your preferred location. Once you've done that, you can see that Mechabricks has actually installed or downloaded a file over here. To actually import it into Blender now, head into Blender, click on File, Import, and mechabricks.zmbx. Now if you don't see this, you probably haven't enabled the add-on. Just make sure to enable it. Click on that and open up your file location. Now once you've done that, it's gone crazy. Now it has installed all the stuff, but as you can see, there's this weird spider web looking thing going on here. Now that's basically making it so that all the objects are parented to this empty in the middle. Now we don't want that. It gets really annoying and it's in the way. To get rid of the parent, you can click A to select all objects, Alt P, clear and keep transform, which gets rid of all the parents. Now, when you start off with Blender, you get the default cube, a light, and a camera. And the thing is, Mechabricks add-on doesn't delete it and then add your scene onto it. It actually just adds it over it. So just zoom in all the way at the bottom, just like that, and delete the cube, light, and camera. You can add all those stuff later. Now, the lighting and the rendering is actually pretty easy. It's like you would do with any normal Blender scene you've created. To add the camera, Shift A, camera. Now you'd place it around really anywhere you want. And to add the light, you would do the same thing, Shift A, light, and add anything you want. Now for the fireplace, since that is a transparent object, you can actually add lights inside of it and it would refract really cool. It would actually refract in this cool way. Now for the rendering, I would prefer rendering in cycles as it gives a more realistic look. And then for the samples, I wouldn't go with a too high value, but if you're doing a pretty dark scene, just make sure it's higher on the scale so you can compensate for that weird prickly effect, the noise you get later on. Now other than that, you can turn on any other scene just like you would with a normal Blender scene. For example, motion blur and other effects. Now, that isn't related to this tutorial, so I'll go on with that and make another video if you want me to. Comment down in the comments below. And that's basically it for the tutorial. Now go ahead and explore your creativity, make anything you want, make it as cinematic as you want, and make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and the notification button if you've learned something, and have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.